peepsy doodles. I'm gonna just wait a hot second for some peeps to head on her. How's everybody doing? I'm like getting a super fancy corner thing. We're trying something new. We're in my corner of books today instead of, I don't know where we usually are. I haven't done a video in like forever. I think the last video I did was Tiptoe with Laura. So, yeah, so I'll give you guys a hot second to roll on for anybody that wants to come hang out. Basically, hey Christian, basically what we're doing today is I'm just coming to say hey. Hey Shay, hey Black Rose, how's everybody doing? How's it all going? Hi Sparks and Lightning. Hi Witchy Mum. Hi Layla. Hi. I miss y'all very much. There, I guess that's a little better. I'm in like, hi, amazed by life. I'm doing well. Layla, how are you? Water Phoenix, hi. I feel like whenever I do live videos, people just like bypass the first like 8 minutes because I'm just like, hey Monica, hey everybody, and they're like, this bitch is just gonna say hi to everybody for like 8 years, so let's just bypass this. But yeah, I haven't talked to you guys in months. Well, I mean, I've been on social media a little bit, but I was gone. There was things happening. But I have missed you guys, and I've been wanting to do a live video for a long time, and I just haven't. Yeah, Layla, my books are like my pride and joy. This is just my little corner, and then it continues that way. But this is my, oh my gosh, oh, I just turned you around. Hang on, I'm coming back. Okay, oh my god, stop. But this is my little pride and joy corner of the universe. I just love it. Actually, I just recently ran out of room, like completely. I just got these yesterday, and a few more, and I'm pretty much out of room. So I have to figure out what I want to do, if I want to continue the library on that wall, or if I think I'm going to continue it over there above the desk. But yeah, that's probably what's happening. Black Rose, what are your favorite books about herbs? Hang on, because I got a few good ones over here. This one, I guess it depends on what you're looking at for herbs. This one. So, depending kind of like on what you're looking at as far as herbs go, if you're looking like magical properties of herbs, I always go back to Cunningham, the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. I love, hey Katie Rose! It's one of my favorites. I feel like I'm always referencing back to it. I love this one. So if you're looking something like that, that. Otherwise, if you're looking for, like, then you have something kind of in between. You have the New Age Herbalist, which, love you, Tiptoe. This was one of her favorites. This one kind of is an in-between, like, giving you all of the properties of herbs as far as, like actually utilizing herbs, but it's for more of like a all-around good feeling. So like, sorry, my words aren't all here yet today. So like how to use herbs for healing, nutrition, body care, and relaxation. So it's still kind of new agey, hence the title, the New Age Herbalist. Whereas, so that's a good one. Oh, who's that by? Hang on. The New Age Herbalist by Richard Mabey. And then you have the Prescription for Herbal Healing. And this one's a monster, but this one's freaking awesome because this will tell you literally everything on it. It starts at the beginning and gives you different herbs and what they're used for, and then on the back, like the second half, it tells you if you have, like, what your symptoms are and what herbs would be used for it, how to use them. So like this one is like if you're looking to actually start utilizing herbs in your daily life or to start healing your own body, then this is a great one. So, have you been watching the new Charmed? I have not. How is it? Because I actually completely forgot that it existed. I don't know what channel it's on. I don't know anything about it, so I have not been watching it. So yeah, basically, yeah, I really like the Scott Cunningham book. I mean, it's old at this point, but I feel like if I'm ever questioning something, because a lot of times when I'm utilizing herbs and magic, I go by instinct. And intuition is more what I mean. I go by intuition. But sometimes if I'm just like, I just need something else, it's really nice book to reference. I love that book. Sparks and Lights. What's your favorite herbs? Ones you absolutely love and use in almost every working. So I guess it kind of depends, but like sage, I know it's kind of cliche, but like I use sage in literally almost everything. It doesn't matter what it's for because I feel like sage has such an amazing property list around it that I utilize it for everything. I love lavender, and I love lavender more for like practical uses. So if I'm using it like more in the kitchen, or if I'm using it for just like for happiness and for the scent of, you know, putting in my bath, helping to calm and relax. Like lavender's a big one. And then what's the name of it? Hawthorn. Hawthorn is one that I use a ton because I feel like hawthorn has a very, very protective quality about it, and it gives me more, I know this sounds silly, but whenever I think of hawthorn, it gives me like a very dragon image to it, and I utilize dragons in a lot, so that's what I would say there. So today we're just gonna hang out, and I just want you guys to ask me all the things, and I also have some people that already asked me some things on Facebook and on Instagram, so while you guys ask me things, if you have anything, I'm also going to sprinkle in these that people have asked me. That's kind of what I got. Katie Rose, I love sage and cloves. Some might think cloves is odd. I don't think so. Honestly, it's kind of, you know, it's whatever you want to use in your own practice. So I don't feel like one particular thing is weird or odd to work with it. I mean, if you're looking for confirmation from other people, it might be, but just in your own practice, if that's something you love to work with, then that's perfect. I tell you what, I look pasty as shit. Like, I am, ugh. My mom actually told me yesterday, she surprised me and said, hey, I'm taking you and my sister-in-law to Florida, like in the middle of April. So I'm like, good, because I mean, I don't go anywhere. So the fact that that's where we're going for a couple days, I'm like, dude, I am a pasty bitch. I am so excited. Sparks and Light mint. Oh yes, mint is amazing. I grow mint every single year. I absolutely love mint. So Black Rose said, sage and lavender are my go-to for everything as well, especially to help me sleep or calm down from a panic attack. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know that a lot of people, they're kind of like up there on everybody's list, but I feel like they're up there on everybody's list for a reason. Shay, what do you recommend using in substitute for incense in burning herbs? I'm moving in with my boyfriend in August, and the apartments are kind of strict. So, a great way to utilize herbs if you can't burn them or you can't use incense is to boil them. So or steep them is what I guess I should say. So take whatever herbs you want in a pot and turn them until you get a boil, and then turn it down so that it's a light simmer, and just let them simmer, because they'll have exactly the same effect. A lot of times, especially if you use like cinnamon sticks or any kind of citrus, you get those awesome scents as well, but you don't have the smoke from burning them. I have PTSD, psychosis, depression, anxiety, Asperger's. What would you recommend? I am not an herbalist, so I can't recommend anything to you, unfortunately, because that would just worry me to no end to mend something with all those kind of symptoms, all those different things. So I am not the person you want to ask for that. I apologize. Okay, so a couple questions from peeps on Facebook. Crystal McGraw, I wish she was here. I don't know if she is here or if she's going to be here soon. She asked, how are you feeling with your Saturn return? And do you want a new update video on the transits? First of all, yes, I do want a new video update on the transits. And second of all, I forgot that I was going to look into the Saturn return, because I don't do a ton with astrology. I have all the stuff to do stuff with astrology. I just haven't looked into a ton of it yet. So when you ask me how I'm feeling with your Saturn return, I don't exactly know what the Saturn return. I think her and I talked about it, but I don't know. So catch up with me, girlfriend, or I'll get a hold of you, because I would like a new update video on the transits. Persephone Rose on Facebook asked, any new shamanic adventure stories? Would enjoy hearing about your spirit animals and such. Advice on how to strengthen the bond and awareness with totem and other spirit animals. So, as you guys have known from some of my past videos, I really enjoy shamanic journeying. I have found that that has been one of the few, I guess, meditative states that I've been able to get myself in and have things and experience things in that state. So, do I have my... yeah. I highly recommend, if you're interested in shamanic journeying, to get the book Shamanic Journeying by Sandra Ingerman, A Beginner's Guide. It is fantastic. And so I haven't done a ton of journeying as of late, but I feel like going on a shamanic journey is an amazing way to at least meet your spirit animals. And then from there, honestly, I talk to my spirit animals, meaning I talk to my fox every single day, whether it be on my way to work or just, you know, a lot of times I like lump them all into one, like, hey, my spirit peeps, but I talk to them every single day. And you know, there I have like little fox statues around my house. I light candles around my fox statues. I'm actually crocheting a little fox right now for my daughter, and so I try to incorporate my spirit animals into a lot of what I do. So I think that that is a huge way, and honestly, just talking to them. If you want to create an altar, that's awesome, but going on a shamanic journey and then just journeying and visiting with them. There have been times where I've just done a journey just to go visit and run with the fox, and you know, it's a beautiful experience of just getting there, and I just sat with the fox with my head on its shoulder and in its fur for just such a long time, and then we started to run, and it ran and I ran, and we kind of melded together, and I became the fox and the fox became me, and we just ran, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. So I highly recommend shamanic journeying. It is beautiful, it is natural, it's amazing. So that's what I got there. What do you think of the Year in a Day Wicca books? I really like the Year in a Day Wicca books. Some of you may know that I did a Year in a Day YouTube channel for a while, and we got like halfway through it, and then I tankered off, kind of like I do with most things. But then I got locked out of that group, so I kind of couldn't ever finish it. But the Year in a Day, I don't even see where my year and a day book is. I do have a year and a day somewhere. And then he actually came out with another year and a day, like the second year, which is fantastic. And Timothy Roderick is who does them and who wrote those books. And I really like them, especially if you're somebody that wants to be kind of, I don't want to say be held accountable because you're still the person you're the one that's doing it. But I know that there's groups that you can get into that do the year and a day groups together, or the year and a day studies together. But just to have something to do every day, I feel like that's some of the biggest ways that people have issues getting into this kind of space, this religion or craft or spirituality, is incorporating their spirituality and their mundane life and making them one. So to have something where you're like, oh, I have a thing to do. Sometimes they're really small, sometimes they're a bit more elaborate, but having something to do every single day is great, I think. Kadros, do you still connect to your spirit guide, Justin? I do. I actually, which this may sound, I mean, once again, I guess it's strange for you. It may not be, it's not strange for me. When I talk to Justin, I kind of lump him into my spirit peeps. So every morning when I talk to my spirit peeps, it's normally Justin, the Fox, Archangel Michael, and then just like any other spirit guides or guardians that I haven't exactly met personally yet, and the universe is just like this. But it's like those are my three main peeps that I go to. And so instead of being like Fox and Archangel Michael and Justin, I just say, hey, spirit peeps. And so it kind of lumps them all into one. And so I do interact with all of them daily, but a lot of times they're just kind of lumped into one. Any advice for others starting out on Reiki healing? Any good classes today? Just come visit me and take my class. No, I am a Reiki teacher, and so if you ever have any questions about Reiki, I would be more than happy to help. There are a ton of amazing books out there on Reiki, but honestly, I am one that is a firm believer that you do have to get, like, they have like these do-it-yourself, like these I do think that, hold on. I do think that you can be attuned over distance. Like, I think that there is a way that you can get attuned online. I've been actually working on figuring out how to do an online Reiki class with you guys to be able to attune you guys and do like an actual class like I would in person, and have like a, but I want it to be like a video thing, and like not, you know, there are a lot of people that do like pre-recorded videos and then they try to do like these home teach yourself Reiki, and I am one that wholeheartedly does not, I don't believe that. I'm not saying that you're not learning a healing technique, but I don't think that it's Reiki, because one of the main things that makes Reiki what it is being attuned and having that attunement passed down from a teacher to a student. So I do recommend seeking out either a local teacher or somebody that, if you're going to do it, I would recommend doing a local teacher first and getting a class done one-on-one. If you have absolutely no way of doing that, then to find somebody that does something online, or wait until I get an online Reiki class going, because that would be great too. No, but really, make sure that you find some, don't do any of this hey, learn self Reiki for $25, $250, whatever. Like, don't do any of the self-taught classes, and don't do any of the pre-recordings. If you're going to do something online, make sure that it's with somebody that's going to go live on some kind of platform and teach you and pass an attunement down to you. How do you protect yourself from energetic vampirism? I have a friend I absolutely adore, but she is such hard work. She drains me. Oh yes, I have been there. So energy vampires they suck in like the literal meaning of the word. I had a really good friend. Actually, I had somebody that I was dating for a really long time. really long time, like years, that was an energy vampire. And they kind of suck you in, and you want to be there for them, and you want to help them, and you love them. You know, a lot of times they're your really, really, really good friends, and then you come home and you're drained. So what I highly recommend is putting up a shield. There are a ton of books out there on shielding, but basically, in the most simplest form, the way that I do shields is I sit and I imagine a bubble that like starts here and just like grows. You can also imagine like the universe creating a bubble for you and using it out of universal energy. But imagining that bubble growing around you to kind of create an aura so that it's glowing. You know, some people like to create a mirror on the outside of the bubble so that the energy reflects back to whoever is sending it. But to create a shield or a bubble to keep you, to keep you safe from these people. Also, getting home and cutting cords. I did a whole video, if you look back, and it's about grounding, cutting cords, and replenishing your energy. So look back, because it's like it's only like a 10-minute video, but I explain exactly how to go about doing all those things, and I highly recommend after you hang out with that person, or maybe even before, or both, doing that technique to kind of try to replenish your energy, send their energy back to them, take yours back from them, cut cords, because if you're hanging out with somebody like that, a lot of times I mean with anybody, but especially energy vampires, you know, they create a cord. So they're still draining you of energy long after you've left them. Yeah, so that is how I would deal with energy vampires. No, don't leave me, computer. What witchcraft book are you currently reading? I'm not reading any right now, actually. I am reading the City of Bones series. They're upstairs. I'm reading the City of Bones series right now. I'm on the 3rd book in the series, but I am currently, usually at least have one magic-y book going, and I don't. It must be upstairs. I was in the middle of a really, really good book for empaths, and I stuck it down here somewhere, and I just don't see where I put it. But I'm not reading anything right now. But I've been kind of getting the itch to start reading something. So if any of you guys have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. I mean, I have a ton down here that I haven't read. I should just pick one, but I haven't read anything, honestly. Alicia, here's a quick one. Will there be any more Witchy Wisdoms in the future? Yes. I do want to bring back Witchy Wisdoms really, really badly. I know I told you guys that we were bringing them back this year, and I do want to bring them back this year. Please don't give up on me. I am going to bring back Witchy Wisdom. And I know I keep saying this, but I had a lot of issues at the end of last year, and I'm still, while things are getting much better, I'm kind of still dealing with the aftermath of all of that. And so having one more thing for me to think about and stress about, not that Witchy Wisdom stresses me out, but, you know, I try to make them as entertaining as possible for you guys. And so, you know, putting a lot of thought and research into topics that we're going to talk about, to have something like that that I think about twice a month is kind of a lot for me right now. So they are coming back, I promise, but I'm not going to give you a date because I feel like I give you guys dates and then I just like bypass them because that's, for whatever reason, the way that I work. So I apologize, but they will come back. That I can promise you. And it will be this year. And I'm hoping it's within the next couple months. But they're coming. Yes. Carly asked how my Valentine's Day was. My Valentine's Day was actually it was really good. I worked all day. I worked in neuro, so I did spine surgeries all day. And I came home, and my little girl, I walked in the door, and she's 2.5 now, and she said, "Look, Mommy, I got a present for you. Happy Valentine's Day." And it was just like this little bouquet of fake flowers in a vase that she colored herself with her daddy. And, you know, she gave me a big hug, and then she gave me a card that her and Kevin signed together, and it was the most beautiful thing. And then Kevin made homemade fajitas, and then I got a massage later, and it was really, really good. Usually we don't do a whole lot for Valentine's Day, but it was really, really nice. So thank you. So that was all my peeps on Facebook. Shay, I believe in some form of energy vampirism, vampire situation, or some sort of draining situation with my family. Anytime I'm in a good mood with my family, isn't a bad one, I take that on a worse mood. So there could be two things happening here. No. Goodness. My computer. So it either could be that your family are energy vampires and that they are draining you, or it could be that you have some empathic tendencies. You may be slightly or fully empathic. So it may be that while they're pissy, you are picking up on that energy, and then you are projecting it as it's your own because you're picking up on what they're feeling. My sister-in-law, I just finally convinced her recently that she's an empath, and so she's kind of taken off with it. And it's a really hard I mean, it's when you first find out, like, oh my God, this is what's been going on. This is why I've been feeling the way I've been feeling. It's kind of crazy, and then it's overwhelming because you start to realize when you're with people, like, oh my God, is that mine? Or like, is this my feelings, or is it somebody else's? And it kind of is like this guessing game. So you can try putting up the shield, and this is whether or not they're energy vampires or just pessimistic people, or if you're empathic. The shielding technique that I talk about in that other video, I got it from Brandeline Johnson, and she actually did a full class that I attended on empaths, and that was one of the things that she recommended doing for empaths. So that whole technique will absolutely benefit you to start doing daily. I highly recommend it. Maria on Instagram asked, where do you live and how do you like it? What's the living cost? I mean, I told you guys you could ask anything, so please feel free to ask anything. There's like no holds barred. Like, ask whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I'll tell you. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed. So she asked where I live. Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly where I live because there's creepers on the internet, but I live in northern Michigan. I love it up here. It is absolutely beautiful, but we do have snow minimum of 6 months out of the year. So like right now, I can barely see out my front window because the snow drifts are so high. So the snow and the cold really gets old after about January. But other than that, I absolutely love it up here. It doesn't get too hot, but it's like we have perfect summers. I wish that our falls were a little bit longer because our falls are beautiful. The living cost where I personally live is very high. So that's also hard, and finding housing is hard. So we were very blessed to find the house that we found, especially with me working in a hospital. I have to be within a call range because I'm on the heart team, and so I do open heart surgeries, and I have to be within a certain amount of time if I end up getting called in. And so the fact that I'm only 5 minutes from the hospital and this house has everything that I wanted was amazing, and it just goes to show that dream boards work. But yeah, I do. I absolutely love it here. So thanks for the question. Sure, I don't think I'm missing anything. No. Nicole. Hey, Ashley. How are you? Nicole on Instagram. Could there be some Libra energy connected with the High Priestess Tarot card? Honestly, I don't know. Potentially, because first of all, I'm not a Libra. I'm very, very familiar with Aries energy and with Taurus energy because my husband, my brother, and my daughter are all Taurus, and I am an Aries. But I'm not very familiar with the energy of Libras. I don't know a ton of Libras, and I don't do I have my tarot decks that I love, but I don't pull them out very often. I go through spurts of like using them a ton and then not using them a ton. So if Laura Rain ever popped her ass on here, she would be a great person to ask. Or I will ask that for you. If it's something that you really want to know, I would be happy to ask her that. Do you usually go to any festivals or conventions out of the year? Usually, so around here we have a May Day festival that I've been to twice. Oh, it's like 45 minutes away, and it is a ton of fun. So, that I do that. This year I am doing there's a Witch in the Woods convention that some of us girls from YouTube are putting on, and it's our first kind of meet-up camping trip that we're doing. And so if it goes well and if it takes off, then we're kind of going to open it to a more public thing and invite more people to come about it. So that I'm going to this year, which I'm very excited. So I'll like meet Crystal McGraw, or she does all the astrologies. Miss Canadian Witch is what you guys might know her by. I'll meet Laura Rain for the first time, like in person. So I'm really, really excited about going to that. Can you remove a spell you regret from a candle? Absolutely. I think you can remove spells from anything. You know, you just go through and you cleanse your candle like you would anything else. You can run it under running water. You can cleanse it with sage. You can cleanse it with sea salt. You know, just go through and do a cleansing spell over it until you feel that, or a cleansing ritual, until you feel that the spell is removed. Aspen, what do you miss most about our beloved Dolores? Did you still stay in contact with her after the hiatus? So Dee had a lot she had a lot going on after her hiatus. Her and I did keep in contact. It was pretty sparing because she had her issues. I had stuff going on with the new house and a new baby and a new husband, and so we didn't talk as much as we wanted, and I think that's one of the biggest things that I regretted is I almost had plane tickets bought a couple years ago, and I was going to go out to Fairy Fest with her. I was going to go stay with her for a long weekend, and I didn't end up doing it. And you know, we always said that it was just it was something we were going to do. We were going to do it, and then I never got a chance to. So I think I miss her energy, which that sounds super cliche, but Dee was so down to earth. I mean, you could call her and she would just be sitting there with her glass of wine and her cigarette and oops, my phone's dying. And, you know, just like shoot the shit with you. You know, she didn't have to be super spiritual or super, you know, she was like me. She was very down to earth. She loved the word fuck. She loved to just talk and bitch and just catch up. And I really miss that about her. I miss that a lot. Pyperh, hush! Good Lord. Do you take fan mail? Because I have some rocks that came from the top of... Ooh, I don't want to... Because that's from Scotland. Ben Nevi, maybe? And I think you'd love the energy. Oh, I do take fan mail. I know I was going to do a P.O. box, but I just never did. And so there are special instances where I will give out my address if I feel okay about it. So that's really, really sweet of you. So if I would love them if you honestly wanted to pass them my way. I would absolutely love that. So you're more than welcome to send me a message and I'll get with you about that. Thank you. She sounds like the person that introduced me to magic. She probably was. Tiptoe chick. Well, she might, unless that's not what you meant. If you meant like she sounds very similar to the person that, anyway, yeah, Dee was a great person, and she was taken way too soon. She was taken way. She went through way too much bullshit for how amazing of a person she was. What incense can I use for smudging in the place of white sage? I've had a bad reaction to sage. Actually, you can use, there is Palo Santo incense that I absolutely adore. Any brand. Well, yeah. any brand, because I don't know. I have the Essential Essences is still my fucking favorite sandalwood incense ever. For me, sandalwood just brings about like the spiritual feeling of a space. Palo Santo and sage clear a space. So if you want to do sage incense, you can, but if you're having issues with sage, I would go with Palo Santo. Thank you. That's so nice of you. Okay. Nicole Tasker Purdue asked, how, if all, have you been incorporating your daughter into your spiritual path? So, my daughter is a whirlwind. She's basically me in a very small little tiny body. So she is interested and gets excited about everything. So whenever I do some kind of a ritual, or if I'm doing like, because I don't do a ton of like very standardized rituals anymore, they're all kind of like go with the flow. Or if, especially if I'm doing like a concoction, if I'm doing a mixture, if I'm doing like when I created my consecration blend, I had her help, and she absolutely loves it. In the spring and summer, it's a lot easier because we can kind of get outside and you know, she loves nature. She loves being outside. She loves the trees, and so it's a lot easier to help her to connect with nature. I've also done a lot to kind of incorporate Reiki with her and I. I don't know if you guys are on my Reiki page on Facebook. It's Sacred Fox Reiki, but I did a story about how when oh my god, excuse me, when she has to poop, she will come up to me and ask for me to give her belly Reiki. And so when she's a tad bit older and she has the attention span, I'm going to attune her to give her that as well. And so I try to do things in, you know, we talk about the moon, you know, and she loves to point out the moon and say hi moon and good night moon, and she loves crystals. You know, I do a little, there's a little monthly crystal box that comes, it's like $5 a month, and so, you know, it comes and you open it and there's like crystals in it, and she loves that. And so that's kind of what I do for now until she gets older and gets to grasp more things. Any advice you can give? My fiance isn't comfortable with some of my beliefs. I do my best to explain things to make him more comfortable with it. Honestly, with people, sometimes it just takes time. My in-laws were very much uncomfortable with my beliefs because of things that had happened in the past with other people with the same type of beliefs. And so they're very Christian. You know, they didn't appreciate my beliefs whatsoever. So you know, it kind of just became a don't ask, don't tell kind of a thing for a while. And you know, I kept my stuff out at my house. I didn't, you know, I didn't put anything away for them. We just didn't really talk about it. So sometimes it just comes down to, you know, you have your beliefs, which you're very proud of, and people that we love may not be exactly supportive of them, but as long as they don't interfere with each other. So like if your husband is not, or your significant other is, if your fiance is not rude or mean about your beliefs, and if you don't press your beliefs on him, and it can just be very, you know, symbiotic and not, I would just kind of leave it at that. You know, it may just be something to where you kind of have to do a don't ask, don't tell for a while until he gets comfortable and comes around to asking, especially if you've tried to explain things to him and he's still not comfortable. It's like, well, that's fine. Like, these are my beliefs, so I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. So as long as you're okay with that, like, I'm not asking you to join me in believing what I'm believing, but I am asking you to be respectful of them. And then that goes for you too. You know, to be respectful is to not push your beliefs onto him. That was kind of, which is kind of hard to do, because it's like, you know, you want to have your stuff all over the house, which I did, you know, still have your stuff all over the house. It's just, you know, being like, hey, I'm going to go do my own thing, not really doing it. I guess it depends on how he feels about it. You know, if he's like, if he's good with it, he's like, no, I'm fine. I just really don't, I don't get it. It's like, that's fine. Sometimes it's just a, okay, well, I'm going to do you, I'm going to do me, and you do you, and we'll just kind of not really discuss that until it comes around to it. I don't know if that was helpful whatsoever. Mrs. Keisha Cuff asked, do you play D&D? I don't play D&D. My husband used to play D&D, but I don't play D&D. I would like to someday. If somebody made a sweet ass campaign, I feel like I would, but I don't. Ashley, do you think that some people aren't meant to be in a relationship? Like, they just need to go this time around without more romance? I wholeheartedly believe that there are some people that they try to push the romance when in actuality they're just supposed to be there in a support role for each other. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. But yes, I do. I think that there are people that are around us for a reason. And I think that sometimes people automatically think that, oh, well, if this person's here and I really like them and they really like me and we get along really well together, you know, they try the romance route and then the romance doesn't work and they're like, oh shit, well, now, you know, we can never be friends again. And it's like, no, I think like just taking a step back from that and searching other avenues and, you know, honestly being friends, sometimes that's like the best way to go about it, is just to be friends. Sometimes that's really what they're in your life for, is for a different support role, not a romantic one. The Queen Vicky asked, my question is, of all the mythical creatures out there, which one would you want to be scientifically proven? Oh shit. Honestly, out of all the mythical creatures, I guess it depends on what you mean by mythical creatures. Like, if we're talking all kind of creatures, because I don't know why I think the vampire, but I think I would like actual vampirism to be scientifically, like the actual vampire. You know, not like the things that we have nowadays that people call themselves vampires, but like can't go out in the sun, drinks blood, can turn other people into vampires. Like, I would want like an actual storybook vampire to be brought into reality. But then the other thing is, I would really, really, really love science to prove that ghosts exist, because a ton of us know that ghosts exist. Like, we know. It's just, I just want science to say, okay, bros, you're right, they do exist, so that we can go about spending more money to actually have more sweet ass equipment that can capture them, and maybe someday we can actually have stuff to where we can communicate in real time better than what we have nowadays. I do got a goddess and elements, but the guy I'm seeing does not practice. That's not right. Kevin doesn't practice either. None of my significant others ever practiced. There's an actual vamp, but they suck energy. Yeah, I know, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Like, I know that there's energy vampires. We kind of went over those earlier. There's the people that say that they have vampirism, like Michelle Ballinger, I think is what it is. She claims vampirism. You know, and they actually went through and tested her, and like she's got a different blood. Like, there, I'm not saying that. I mean, like, if you're talking about what kind of mythical creature do I want proven, I would love like actual storybook vampires to be a real thing. Not the ones we have, not like the vamps we have now, but like real vampires. Real vampires from like books, and not Twilight vampires. Soul Maiden asks, how do you experience deity, if at all? I guess for me, because I don't bring a god and goddess into my practice. My practice is solely my spiritual peeps. Justin, my fox, you know, my spirit animal, and the archangel, Michael. but I also work with other archangels, but it's mostly been Michael. And then universal energy. I don't break that up into a god and goddess. But if you're talking about deity as in that form, as in like universal energy, I would say that I experience that by talking to them in the morning. And during the day, there's like little things that pop into my head that I know are from them. You know, there are there's like protective feelings. There's just feelings that I get throughout the day that I know that they're around. And then, you know, when you go outside, you know, in the summer and and you experience nature and you just have that peaceful calming, I know that that's the universe as well. So that may be a lot more boring than what some people, but that's my way of. My car has been sending me messages from my boyfriend who passed away in December. His phone is disconnected and the messages do not go through my phone. What? What you talking about? What do you mean your car? I book some baking. My thing is you can't have any kind of creation without male and female energy, and that's fine. You know, I just don't, you have the male and female energy, but everything comes from one, like there's one universal energy that everything splits into. And I think that we put male and female on everything because it helps us to differentiate and it helps us to wrap our head around that. And God and Goddess just never fit for me. They never felt right. So I just don't utilize that. Do you believe there's a reason why you're connected to certain things or get deja vu? Do you think it's connected to our past life or something different? I absolutely do. I think that we can be connected to places, people, things. There is a place close here. It's like an hour and a half away that I've told you about, and I call it my soul place. Like when I'm there, it feeds my soul. And I know that I'm connected to that place. I have no idea why. But oh, hi, Mommy Ventures. I love you too. Thanks. I have no idea, you know, what happened, and it may be a past life thing. I think some of the deja vu things are past life things. And then I also think that, that some of it is just a connection. You know, it may be that there's something there that you're meant to see. There's something there you're meant to learn. It may just, you know, like I said, a lot of it might be a past life thing. Like, maybe I had a past life that was at that institute. I have no idea. But, yeah. I don't know if that helped. I hope that helped. Plays text from him, but it's only going to my car. I have video of it. Oh, that's amazing. That's probably your significant other that's trying to get a hold of you. I think that's what that would be. Have you ever had a situation where you did a spell and things you did not see came up and the spell did not work right? I don't think that spells ever not work right. I think that there are either it wasn't meant to be at that time, and so the universe kind of put a kaput to it, or I think that the spell worked, but it worked in a way that you weren't expecting it to work. You know, like there may be times where, you know, maybe you're like, I really need some money. Like I did a spell once where it was for finances. I was like, I got shit I need to pay off. And the next day my car broke down. And so I had to spend thousands of dollars to fix my car. And then we had something like water damage in our apartment that they made us pay for because of some bullshit. And I was like, what in the actual fuck? And what I realized is that the universe was getting all of these things that were like on the edge of being financial crises. They were putting them out there so that we could get them paid for, so they didn't pop up later. And then after that, there were like all of these things that were like coming in the mail that were random checks I wasn't expecting. You know, after that, and we got all that stuff paid off, then I was able to have the finances that I needed to have, but the universe was like, okay, well, if you want finances, you got to take care of some of this other shit that you don't know is about to go down first. So I'm just going to blow it all up at you so you can get it paid off, and then we'll get you some money. Bought some smudge sticks, about to cleanse my tarot cards. Nice. So I'm going to be super forward here. Would you like to be friends? Well, sure. What you talking about? Like friends? Like real friends? The message keeps saying it just hits home safely over and over. That's actually really beautiful. I think that probably is, you said it was your boyfriend? I think that that's probably his way of telling you not to worry, that he got to where he needed to go. I think that that's insanely beautiful. And, you know, I don't know. I'm really excited for you about that. It's kind of like a confirmation to say, okay, I do. I think that's beautiful. Well, sure, we can be Facebook friends. I'm cool with that. Oh, the boss ass witch asked a bunch of questions, so I can bounce some of these off, and then I have to get going because I gotta make dinner. Do you believe any inanimate object can be spirited? I do. Hey, Nikki. I do believe that inanimate objects can be spirited, 100%. Number one magical tool, excluding yourself. I don't use a ton of magical tools as of late, but I would have to say, because I have like my tarot cards and my pendulum that I use pretty, like, and I guess if you're not counting like incense and candles, because those are like my favesies, but I would probably have to say it was my pendulum. How do you incorporate magic into the mundane or daily life? I've done a couple pictures lately where it's literally like me lighting a candle while I'm taking it, like, and setting it on the toilet while I'm taking a bath at night. Or this morning I had a candle lit while my daughter was in the bath and I was doing my hair. You know, it's kind of like, or I just clean the kitchen and I light incense. You know, there's little things that I bring in, and to have like the intention behind why I'm lighting those candles or why I'm lighting the incense that really packs a punch during the day. One of my biggest things that I do is I talk out loud to my spirit peeps every single day. I think that that is a huge thing, and if you don't do it, I really feel like you should. That is just huge, and I think I would be lost without having that team to talk to. What are your three most precious magical items that you use more often than others? Yes, it's a tiptoe question. So I would have to say, if we're talking about your three most precious magical items. So I have my pendulum that I showed you guys that I made myself, that has the fox at the end of it, that I absolutely fucking adore. I have my my candle. It's my blue working candle that I light for any magical workings that I do, that I fucking adore. And I would have to say my Shadowscapes tarot deck, because it is one of the most accurate and emotional decks that I own. That's what I would say there. What mundane acts do you think are magical? Cleaning. I think cleaning can be extremely magical. I think taking a bath or taking a shower is like one of the most magical acts that I do during the day of my mundane life. Cooking can be extremely magical. Going to bed or waking up. Any of those things. Wow. Jacob, hey girl, I love you and your videos so much. I've been a fan of them for 6 years now. Well, hi, Jacob. Well, thank you very much. I still think it's weird when, like, for me, when people are like, hey, I'm such a fan, and I'm like, but I'm not anybody. But thank you. I think that's so sweet. Have you ever had like a really weird dream and you know it was a message but you didn't know how to read it yet? Yes. And I highly recommend, if you still remember it, to write it down, because usually you will either have dreams that will come after that will kind of help things come into perspective, or something will happen later that will help the dream make more sense. Have you ever had a spirit give you obvious signs about certain things, both positive and negative? I have. And I don't have time to go into it, but maybe in a later video I'll be able to kind of go into that a little bit more, but I have had that. Okay. How do you deal with spiritual friction from other faiths, being married to a Christian, finding balance in structure? I struggle. I kind of went into this a little bit earlier, and so if you want to backpedal the video once I'm done posting it, but honestly, it's mostly finding a balance of respect and understanding that there are beliefs that they have that you don't abide to, and there are beliefs that you have that they don't agree with, and to sometimes even talk it out and be like, okay, that's what Kevin and I did. You know, he was very Christian, and him and I talked it out, and you know, we were able to find some common ground on things that we both believed in, and that's kind of where we went from there. You know, I bring up my witchy stuff, and he brings up Bible stuff, and but we're very comfortable because we understand that that is, you know, we love each other, and we know that that's the belief of the other person, and so as long as you have a respect in that, then I think you're golden. Okay, lovey muffins. Thank you for your great advice. I've missed your live streams. I know, I'm really excited for Witchy Wisdom to come back, and it will come back. I just don't know when. I don't know when. It's coming, I swear. Okay. Well, thank you guys for chatting with me for an hour. I have missed you guys, and we will do this again, and we will do Witchy Wisdom. But it was just nice just to talk with you guys. I'm going to go upstairs and get some burger going because I'm making fucking tacos, and I'm so excited for tacos. And I think tonight I'm going to play Legend of Spyro on my PS4. I've got my book that I'm like madly in love with right now that I'm going to keep reading. And yeah, that's kind of what I got. So I love you guys dearly. Thank you so much for coming to hang to dang while we chit-chat about some random ass things. If you guys have any suggestions for videos that you'd like to see in the future, I would love to hear about them. You can either send me a message on Facebook, or you can comment on here. And I think that's what I got. So I'm going to go upstairs and see my little love muffin and make some tacos. So I love you guys, and I will... Oh shit, where'd you... I have Kuan Yin statues, and I work with the Kuan Yin statues, but for me it's very similar to a Buddha energy. So when I use it, it's very Buddha-esque in energy, only more female, if that makes sense. Good to see you again. Have a terrific night. Yay! Bye guys. You rock, Mommy Ventures. Have a great day. You too, Shay. Thanks guys. Thanks guys! I love your faces! I love your faces, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for hanging in here with me while I go through my dark and deep shit. It'll be a good year. It'll be good. I'll be back. We'll do more stuff. We'll do more magic-y stuff. I'll do more videos. I'll do more things. It'll be good.